Thank you very much for joining me today. What I want to talk about is eliminating shotgun communications at Murphy Oil Corporation. I also would call this eliminating sniper communications, and I'll differentiate between the two of those in just a moment. What I'm talking about is the blasting out of multiple emails and voicemails on the same subjects, either together or disparately to different individuals. So sending out an email to one person describing a problem or requesting information, and then sending that same email and perhaps wording it slightly differently to another group of individuals on the same subject. Some examples, as I just mentioned, are email and voicemail, impromptu meetings that are called, and those "oh, by the way" type conversations that occur when we have a specific subject or problem we're trying to address. And we handle that by issuing directives or instructions to multiple parties through different communications at different times. Some of those examples of those sources of that information or those communications are from the merchandising department, from our fuel pricing department, construction, training, HR, IT, and last but definitely not least, senior management. Some of the effects that this communication, shotgun communication or sniper communications are a tank monitoring project that has occurred in the past, and I have an example where our store managers were impacted by this type of communication. The project example is what I would call the sniper communication method. That would be our tank monitoring project. Tank monitoring means different things to different people in the organization. So the manager of transportation and fuel delivery needs to know what tank levels are. So he monitors the tanks through some method, and it means something very specific to him, when we need to refill the tanks. Our manager of environmental needs alarms. He needs to know when the tanks contain water, or when they've been overflowing or been overfilled. He needs the alarms off of that. Manager of pricing needs to know what the fuel flow looks like. How much fuel are we pumped over the last hour from this particular location, so that he's pricing appropriately. Well, each of those departments started a fuel tank monitoring project on their own. They engaged 3 separate consulting firms. Each consulting firm and each manager went out and touched different stores. Each one of them impacted the store's network. Each one wanted access to a single device that would monitor the tanks, which of course created conflict with their associate department. The fuel department was interrupting when the environmental needed an alarm. They had conflicting resources. The cost of this, I'll come back to the cost of this in just a moment. That was sniper. So you had one department kind of picking out one project, and they were reaching out all on their own at one task. The example of a shotgun communication, and these are my own terms, I'm just using them just to get your attention. The example of shotgun communication is the HR department needed the applicant files from all of the stores. It's an applicant log is what they were looking for. So our HR department sent out a message to all stores on March 15th, 2008. And the gist of the message was, you must send your log forms to the HR department no later than March 30th. So that was the message that went out. It was short, sweet, concise, no problem, right? That's exactly what should happen. HR needs information. They send it out to the stores in a short, concise request. Send it out to the stores. The stores know exactly what they're supposed to do, where the information is supposed to come back. No problem, right? However, the division manager says, but I want to see those logs first. So he sends the same message out to all the stores, and it says, I must see these first, so send the logs to me no later than 3:25. Well, then the district manager, who's in between the stores and the division manager, the district manager says, you must send these log files to me no later than 3:20, March 20th. So after this is on the 4th day now of these messages going back and forth, the HR manager decides that he needs to actually see them on the 20th. So on March the 20th, the HR manager, the same message is going out to all stores. And then the division manager followed up and said he needed to see him on 3/18, and the whole cycle began again. So what were the costs of this? Well, the tank monitoring project cost the company $20,000, not including labor. It was $20,000 in consulting fees, equipment, trips to the store, our network consultants. It cost us $20,000 and we have nothing to show for it. Because we tried to sniper, we tried to pick off our projects, tried to cherry pick them. The cost of the HR project, if every single person on those email threads read every single one of those messages, and I took an average salary rate, it cost us $10,000 in labor. If I just average everyone's salary that was involved in that chain of emails, it cost the company $10,000 just to read all of those emails. So there is a cost to this. So what's the solution? The solution is the creation of a communication czar in the company. We already have a customer service manager, so we endow this person, the customer service manager, to become the communications manager. All communications that go out specifically and especially to our store chain goes through this gatekeeper, this communication czar. The policy will be put in place that requires all communications to go through the communications manager. There will be etiquette followed. Policy 209, which is our email proper usage policy, must be followed. Jay, our communications czar, will be that person to enforce that. He will abide by it as well. Some tips for sending out emails through Jay. Jay, you've got emails that you want to go out to all stores. You send it to Jay first. Jay distributes it. It will go out on one day. It will only go out one day. There will be an all-store communication that goes out on Tuesday between 11 and 12 Central Time. That's when all the communication goes out for the week, the past week. If there's something you need to review or something that's coming up in the future, it goes out on Tuesday through Jay. There's no exceptions. When I say there's no exceptions, the only exceptions would be absolute critical emergencies. An emergency is not, I forgot to send this message out and this new program is rolling out this week. The new program will wait until the following week because we have to put all the credibility into this weekly communication. Some other email etiquette and policies that will be adhered to is not forwarding emails onto the stores. The email needs to be restructured and reworded in store speak. A rule of thumb is don't send anything out to the stores that you wouldn't want a jury or your mother to read. So we will adhere to that. Voicemail etiquette. Voicemail is not as prevalent out in the field. We've not embarked on or slammed our stores with voicemail. However, that will become the path of least resistance with this new rule we're putting in place with the communication czar. So when using voicemail, the voicemails must be kept under 90 seconds. We will enforce that. We will turn off voicemail when it exceeds a 90-second threshold. So to adhere to that 90 seconds, state your name, your phone number, the subject, and the best time for the call to be returned. You don't want to get into a long dissertation about what you're trying to resolve, just the facts. And you need to speak your name and your phone number slowly so that the person on the other end has time to write it down. In conclusion, our core values are integrity and do the right thing. But our fourth value is communicate and communicate clearly. Okay? Well, let's do the right thing and let's communicate clearly through this czar. Let's focus on the right people doing the right thing on the right projects, and we'll create a more efficient and productive environment to work in. Thank you very much.